Hey guys, this is Chao Tang. Welcome to today's Chinese course. Today's learning content is a common conversation at the airport. For you guys, you have accumulated several hundreds of basic Chinese vocabulary, maybe 800. I think today's situational learning can help you to use Chinese vocabulary you have learned more actively, and this method can help you continue to keep your interest in learning Chinese. But before we start, let me introduce you today's class goals. The content I wrote on the slides includes both Chinese and English, but I hope you try to spare the Chinese part by pinning with me, because I will take everyone to do the spelling together. At this moment, please imagine such a situation in your mind. You are on your way to the airport, and all staff in the airport speaks Chinese. Can you recall the process of taking the plane, and what would you like to communicate with staff in each process based on your previous experience of flying on the plane? So this is the process of taking an airplane in our real life, and it's also the process of today's course. I guess everyone is familiar with this process, so it's more logical to start our teaching according to this process. For the first step, I want to teach you some keywords. These keywords are the basis for today's content. These several words are not only the process of taking airplane, and they are also a part of today's keywords. Let me take you to do some simple pronunciation exercise on these words. So firstly, we all know that when we get to the airport, we need to enter personal information in order to get a boarding card. This process called check-in, and in Chinese is 办理登机. After we get the boarding card, we need to line up for a security check. Pronounced in Chinese is 安全检查. If our flight is an international flight, the security check should be followed by a passport check. This step is to process the departure record. The English of this step is passport control. In Chinese is 护照检查. After the first three steps, we can prepare to board the plane. This action is boarding in English. Translate into Chinese is 登机. After boarding the plane, we officially got on the plane and start our journey. When the plane is flying in the air, the English expression is on the plane, which translates into Chinese is 空中飞行. So far, we have had a general idea of today's learning process in today's class. Next, we will introduce a few more common words in the airport. So in large international airports, we often see our flight information marked T1 or T2. The T is short for the terminal, and the pronunciation of the terminal building in Chinese is 航站楼. In Australia, common airlines are Qantas, Jetstar, and Citro. And airlines are definitely a high-frequency vocabulary in the airports. So this word is pronounced in Chinese is 航空公司. The boarding pass is a boarding voucher provided by the airport for the passengers taking the flight. The Chinese of the boarding pass is 登机牌. Each flight is complied with a different flight number according to a certain rule to facilitate distinction and management. The Chinese pronunciation of the flight number is 航班号. And next, the boarding gate in Chinese is 登机口. The last two words are relatively difficult. The pronunciation of the baggage claim area is 行李领取处. 行李领取处. And last one is currency exchange. Pronounced in Chinese is 货币兑换处. 货币兑换处. Now you have arrived at the airport. You are going to take the plane to travel. You need to have a simple conversation with the staff. So the first process is called check-in. We have already discussed about it. When you are ready to apply for your boarding pass, the staff may ask you these questions. So first is, may I see your passport, please?
我可以看一下你的护照吗？
Where are you flying to?
你要飞去哪里？
How many bags are you checking?
你托运多少件行李？
The next step is the security check, which requires us to maintain a very high level of attention to communicate with the staff and cooperate with their inspection requirements. These are the requirements that the staff might mention. So first is body scanner.
身体扫描仪。
Are you carrying any liquids?
你携带了液体吗？
Please stretch out your arms.
请伸出你的手臂。
After successfully passing the security check, it's time for passport control. In this step, we may need to talk to the staff about the following issues. So, your passport and boarding pass, please.
请出示您的护照和登机牌。
What types of visa have you got?
你持有什么类型的签证？
Traveling visa,
旅游签证、
business visa,
商务签证。
So we all know that in our real life, there are many potential problems may affect our success boarding. The most common one are the flight delays or even the flight cancellation due to the bad weather condition. Therefore, these words are related to boarding time.
登机时间
Boarding means
登机
time means
时间
flight delay.
航班延误
Flight means
航班
delay.
means 延误
Flight cancellation. Flight means
航班
cancellation is 取消. After boarding the plane, we officially started our journey. But during the flight, we still need to abide by the relevant rules, such as fasten your seat belts,
系好安全带
turn off all personal electronic devices,
关闭所有的个人电子设备。
What would you like to drink? So, as you know, the flight attendants often will distribute drinks to us during the flight. The common drinks include coffee, tea, orange juice. They may ask us some questions such as, what would you like to drink?
你想喝点什么？你想喝点什么？
So, today's lesson is over here. In this class, we conducted a simulated airport conversation, taking everyone to apply basic Chinese vocabulary to actual communication and conversation, and also taking everyone to practice spelling together. The homework of this class is to recite today's keywords and practice spelling according to content of the slides. In the next class, I will randomly ask students to do spelling inspection. Thank you for watching and listening. See you next time.